Now tuning in to Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Cody, can we talk about the fact that I'm holding a coffee cup right now? And you know the difference between, like, the small coffee cups and, like, the soup coffee mugs?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have one of those right now, and I have my tea in it, so this is basically coffee with Chemtrails, is what I'm saying.
Oh my god. I can't, 2 episodes in a row, we start with us being like, hi, welcome to Coffee with Chemtrails.
I mean, also, I'm eating rice, because my stomach hurts. How are you?
Welcome to Into the Twilight.
Literally.
I am eating sour power straws and just living my life. It's
Welcome
9:05 p.m. on a Friday.
Welcome to Into the Digestion Problems with Allie and Cody.
Yeah, that's real. That's real.
But yeah, so it's been a really shitty week since we spoke last.
Yep.
And one of the things that, like, I wanted to briefly touch on before we get into, like, the funny shit is, like, we don't talk about, like, current events on this podcast, right?
That,
we talk
about,
mean
things that have meaning.
Our, like, quote, current events corner is very specific to being funny.
And self-serving.
I don't think that we ever had a conversation about this podcast not being, like, political or anything. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of, like, happened that way.
Right.
And there's been obviously a lot of discourse happening this past week with the world. And one of the things that I've kind of come to is I'm, in a way, happy that we don't talk about those things.
Yeah.
Because for people that want to just kind of, like, log out, this can be a good space for that.
Yeah. And, like, you see those things, like, there are so many resources where you can get that information and that stuff. And, like, to be fair, all of this shit that's happening, like, if you can, please, God, donate to, like, all of these places. And, I hope people are safe and all that stuff. And it's really scary. But as we've had many episodes since this has been, like, over a year, and a lot of shitty things have happened in this past year.
It's been literally, like, the worst calendar year.
Like, definitively been very bad. But, like, you can find that stuff outside of this podcast, and this is sort of a space where you can, like, just not think about that for an hour and maybe have a little bit of a laugh while everything else is kind of exploding.
Well, and I think also because the fact that, like, you literally work in journalism.
Yep.
And I teach, so, like, I'm also working in current events and stuff too, and, like, activism. Like, we are both on at all times of the day. Yeah. And so for me, I see this hour as, like, I'm putting a bubble.
Yeah, this is also, like, a safe place for us, like, where we could just kind of, like, just talk about nonsense, like, shit that has no cultural relevance, and has, like, no social impact, and is just garbage, but it's fun, and we're having fun, and other people listening are having fun, because if you've seen either of our Twitters, or things that we do outside of this podcast, it is just, like, everything is trash, everything is sad, and, like, we're trying our best to make this, like, something else that people can go to.
Yeah,
to not do that.
This is your pocket of trash. The good kind of trash, though. Like, the check out and take care of yourself trash.
Yeah.
And
the treat yourself trash.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And as for no social impact, first of all, fuck you. Because I'm pretty sure we made the vampire emoji happen. So, like...
Oh my god.
Like, I'm just saying. But yeah, so that's what I wanted to just kind of get off the table, especially because, like, I'm not qualified to talk about this shit. Like, go listen to NPR. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I am barely qualified to talk about this hour of me talking about stuff. So yes, that's all I want to talk about.
So, disclaimer.
Yeah, exactly. Should we get to our current events, though?
Yeah, let's get to some fun news.
Yeah, exactly. So, yesterday and today, or Friday and Saturday, because time is a social construct, and every time I talk about this, I have, like, a breakdown. Anyway, okay, so... What?
And this... I think this is the first recorded mental breakdown that's ever been on a podcast.
My bean is currently getting freaked, like, as I talk. Anyway, so the 5th and the 6th, or yesterday and today, when we're recording this, are very important anniversaries.
National holidays.
Like, literally, I should have taken today off work. Within the Twilight canon, and we need to discuss them.
Yes.
So, yesterday was the 12th birthday of Twilight, which makes me feel very old, because the fact that I know middle schoolers, and I know friends who teach middle schoolers, and that means that, what? Anyway, that gives me another crisis. Also, today is the 2nd birthday of Life and Death, which we'll be getting to next, which is weird.
That's wild that this is the 2nd birthday, because I definitely imagined it happening last year. That's wild. Whoa.
Literally, when I saw that, I was like, wait,
that's fake.
Wasn't,
right?
2015 was, like, yesterday, right?
Oh.
Listen, 2015 was the worst year of my life, like, objectively, and I cannot tell you how much, like, news-wise, I want to go back to 2015. That's all I'm saying. Okay. But yeah, so, of course, Fickle Fish Films celebrated these epic anniversaries.
Yep.
And all I'm saying is definitely check out Stephanie's Twitter. Because it's a wild and emotional ride.
Oh, God.
So, yay, happy birthday to
also,
this
can we just look at this, like, Life and Death next to Twilight and how, like, she thick.
She thick. To be fair, that Life and Death has Twilight and Life and Death in it. That's how most of them were sold.
Are you serious? That's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, this book is not enough to sell by itself. How about we just stick Twilight on there, too?
Our next book is, like, literally 800 pages. Like, it's just... yeah. But amazing. No, so, Stephanie even used the fucking green apple, which... If you don't think that 2018, I'm going to be using a green apple, you're wrong, because I will be. So anyway, Cody, could you do me the incredible honor of introducing our next current events, please?
Yeah, I feel like you're pandering a little bit by giving me this part of the current events corner, but...
Well, yeah.
So, this comes from Green Rush Daily, which is a news organization that is doing some work. For sure. And under the celebs category, we got a little article about our boy, Robert Pattinson. Headline being, does Robert Pattinson smoke weed?
I almost spilled my rice. Like,
I like to thank Tim, who made this article possible.
Honestly, thank you, Tim, for making the real news happen. Yeah. Like, this is the important questions that we need to be answering.
This is less an article about him. I mean, it's half about him smoking weed, but also, or the possibility of him smoking weed. But the first half is basically a life history of Robert Pattinson. Like, it's like, he was born in London, and these are all the schools that he went to, and he did theater. He was in Harry Potter, and, like, all this stuff. It's like, where are we going here?
I wrote this article.
This lead is 3 paragraphs long. I need to, like, cut to the chase.
Yeah, it's extra. Everything about it is a lot, but I am so thankful that this came across in our email. It's also important to know that on Green Rush Daily, hashtag not spawn, the number 1 trending article for them right now is watch the first cannabis ad to air nationwide. So, wow, is all I'm trying to say.
Also, number 2, just like a quick little rundown. The new really cannabis show, it's a great photo, focuses exclusively on women who love weed. And just like a show of hands, how many people think that this is exclusively white women?
Well, I mean, the photo is like...
leaving something to be desired. But basically, this article was like 300,000 words of his backstory, and then like 20 of about him being like, we don't know if he smokes weed, actually. But basically saying his ex-girlfriend, K-Stu, loves weed, and that's basically their conclusion.
I mean, you're not wrong.
So, hey.
Speaking of weird shit with really long articles and
Segway City.
Terrifying websites.
Yep.
We should talk about the next one, which comes to you from J14. Mm-hmm. And you may be like, oh, hey, that's sort of, hey, I just tried to log into this J14 fucking website so I can do my job, J14, and you're telling me that 0 was not the year I was born. Fuck you. I'm negative 14. Oh, hey, that worked. Okay, great. Okay, anyway, so...
Like, 0 doesn't work. They're like, no, this can't be. But, like, the fact that you can put in negative ages... And they will still let you in. But they're like, no, nobody that's 0 can do this. Absolutely not.
Yes. So we're bringing you hot news from J14.
From to let 1992.
To let you know that the Twilight star, Justin, who played Eric in the Twilight series, is expecting a baby.
Yeah.
With his person, Sasha. So, great, interesting article, all this fun stuff, until you scroll down and you see the announcement photo. And I am terrified and confused and, like, Cody, can you explain this? Because to be honest, my womb is starting to, like, get shook a little.
I think you might break down. It is an Instagram embed, and it's of Sasha, or actually it's from Justin's Instagram, but it's of his wife, Sasha, and it's this beautiful, like, silhouette photo of, like, her pregnant body and being like, yes, I'm pregnant. There's, like, a nice window and there's, like, light. It's great. And then, her stomach, they put a photo of a galaxy or a nebula just right on top of there.
It's terrifying.
And it's some grody shit. Like, why
like, I see, and I know we're not supposed to put transmedia on here, sorry, Cody, but, like, if you look into the yellow spot in the middle, isn't that Amelie? Like, I'm just saying.
Oh my God.
Anyway, like, it's terrifying, and I have a lot of feelings about it, which are probably not that good, but congrats, and I hope that everything goes well.
Yay.
So great.
Hope it's not an alien or whatever. Like, what are you insinuating? Like, what are they insinuating? I have so many questions. I don't know.
Honestly, at this point, like, I hope it is. Like,
oh my God.
Like, let's just start that at this point, because what else is gonna happen?
Our first human alien baby. It's from one of the stars of Twilight.
I would love that. I would love to report on that. Speaking of reporting on things, hi, welcome to Segway City. It's Halloween, if you haven't realized.
Yep.
Right now. So happy Halloween to everybody. If you're not celebrating already, like, sorry, you need to chase your bliss somewhere else. Which means that the Twilight Saga community on Tumblr is celebrating with Twilight-themed Halloween things with the hashtag Trick or Twilight.
What?
So I'm gonna get that tattooed on my body on Friday the 13th, is all I'm saying. So.
Oh my God. The amount of, okay, so this is a little bit of a sidebar, but the amount of, like, Friday the 13th flash sheets that I've seen, because it's coming up, and, everyone's like, here's our come to our shop and get Friday the 13th tattoos. Here's the things you can get. Like, every single one of them has some version of, like, fangs, or, like, vampire shit, and I'm like, I just don't need to be attacked here. This is supposed to be a safe space.
I'm gonna do it, I swear to God. Also, welcome to the Dog Podcast.
Hello. It's been a while.
You guys escaped it last week.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
No, not today.
That is no longer a safe space. Hey, just curious. Hey, sorry. Hey, sorry. Hey, sorry. Hey, I know. Trick or Twilight, really big deal. Hey, can you fucking not? No? Oh, okay, great. Cool. So, anyway, that's great. Hey, Bambi, just curious, though? Hey, just curious. Hey, for real, though? Hey, for real, though? Hey, for real, though? Okay.
I just love that every time you talk to the dogs, you just say the same thing over and over again, just, like, a little bit faster or a little bit angrier.
Like, to everybody.
I hope that's how you are with your students. Like, yeah, Timmy? Hey, Timmy? Hey, Timmy? Hey.
Hey, Timmy, for real, though?
Hey, I saw you didn't turn in your homework, Timmy. Hey, Timmy?
Oh, God. Don't call me out like this. That's embarrassing. So anyway, should we move on to listener questions?
Let's go.
Great. Good things. We did get a Patreon question.
Yeah, boy.
And by question, I mean, like, 6. But they're all spooky.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
They're Halloween adjacent.
Yeah. So that's great. And I'm very curious about this because this might start a fight between us.
Oh my God.
The first one from, I want to say Emery, but like, I don't, it's Mayor. Sorry, I don't do names. I'm more like a high concept person. So the first question is Halloween Town or Hocus Pocus? Cody, tell me everything.
So I would say Hocus Pocus.
Okay.
I'm just gonna flesh out if you're gonna fight me. Because I think I grew up with Halloween Town, you know what I mean? Like, that was the movie that came on all the time, and I watched it. And over time, I've been watching Halloween Town more. Like, the past couple, like, Halloweens, I usually go with my friends. We all watch Halloween Town, Hocus Pocus, and it's a great time.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's great. It's, I think they're both very good films. Like, I just don't think we have to, like, make fights with all the great witch films. I would say The Craft over both of them.
Totally.
I would say The Craft over both. What do you mean? Do you not know The Craft? It's like one of the most popular witch movies, and it's like about teen witches. It's so fun and feminist. You should watch it. Anyway.
Great.
But yeah, I would say that over both of them. However, I do think they both have a special place in my heart. But I think over time, I've grown closer to Hocus Pocus.
I think that was literally the longest you've ever spoken in one, like, section on this podcast. So that's great. My answer is Halloween Town.
Okay.
And that's because I've never seen Hocus Pocus. So anyway,
oh my God.
Next question is...
No, wait, hold the Allie. Everyone stop. Everyone shut up. You were like, oh man, this question's really gonna, like, make sure we're gonna see if we have a fight, And then you're like, well, I haven't seen one of them, so whatever.
Well, to be fair, that's what I thought this fight was gonna be about, and it is, so, I mean.
I hate you so much, Allie. Okay, you need to see a lot of films, but you especially need to see Hocus Pocus. It's very fun, and you love it.
I know, I've been told that.
Oh my God. It has every great character actress is in it, and it's so good, and it's fun. Like, you should just watch it.
Looking at it as a child scared me, like, it's something about it scared me.
Absolutely.
And I was like, absolutely not.
You know what's a fucked up film? Road Dolls the Witches. That shit is terrifying. And that's, like, directed towards children.
You know what's fucked up?
What?
I mean, there's a lot of fucked up things about my life, but, like, you know what's really fucked up?
Yeah.
I thought that Hocus Pocus and E.T. were too scary, so I was like, absolutely the fuck not. I watched Friday the 13th when I was 6. I swan to John. And I was like, oh, so we're doing this?
Witches, though? I don't know.
That seems sketchy. I grew up in a conservative family. So anyway, the follow-up question is, have I been to St. Helens, Spirit of Halloween Town? So if you weren't aware, I live in Portland, which is roughly about 30 minutes from St. Helens, and that's where they filmed, like, Halloween Town and everything. It's, like, where you see all the Halloween Town photos and everything. I have been to St. Helens. I have not been there during Halloween, because I live a terrible life. And apparently, even though I'm an adult, I don't make decisions for myself. So
absolutely not.
And also, like, the traffic there is ridiculous during the Halloween time. So, like,
no, ma'am.
So the next question is, since we're kind of getting into the wedding stuff and, like, Halloween things and Twilight stuff and all this stuff. So the next question is, do you think Alice is a wedding Pinterest board kind of bitch or a contact your local bougie wedding planner kind of gal?
Listen.
I mean.
My first thought was, like, she's got a Pinterest board since day one. Because to be fair, like, she also knows when things are going to happen, so she's like, I've already got it done. Like,
she did have it since day one. So,
absolutely.
Like,
but I also, like, I know she has contacts, you know what I mean? She has, like, dressmakers, like, everywhere, and she can get shit done. But she, ultimately, the crux of it is her being a Pinterest binge. Because, like, she loves having everything done and ready. And she's like, yes, you don't have to do anything. I got it. I got you. And I care about you. Here it is.
I got you.
I got you. That's her. If she was, like, a wedding planner, she'd be like, no, I got you. And it's, like, 3 days before they even meet. And she's like, I have everything, actually. Here you go.
I agree with that. I also feel like if she had her own business, her slogan tagline would be, I got you, babe. And it would just be her and Jasper singing Sonny and Cher. So,
I love it.
Just saying.
Yes.
The chapters that we read kind of answer this. I think that she is a local bougie wedding planner kind of person.
Yeah.
But she is her own bougie wedding planner kind of person. So
yeah. It comes from within.
Yes, it does come from within.
Yeah.
Next question. What if Bella was on Say Yes to the Dress?
This is the greatest question we've ever received on this podcast.
I am so thankful for this.
I could do a whole podcast on this question.
And I could do a whole podcast on Say Yes to the Dress because...
Honestly, can we start a Say Yes to the Dress podcast?
I have been asking for a second podcast for a year.
Oh my god.
And that would be amazing, and I would love that a lot, actually, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh my god. Anyway.
All I'm saying is, Char-Dad would get the fuck in to say yes to the dress.
Oh, absolutely. He would be, like, buddy-buddy with that one dude who was the only, like, guy who actually is making that show happen, and, like, the only person that's, like, making sure everything runs. Because, like, everyone else is like, what the fuck is a dress? And he's like, no, bitch, I know exactly what you need. Here we go.
Yeah.
I got you. And he's great. So they would have, like, a fun time just looking through dresses, whatever. Although, I feel like we learned a lot from this chapter that, like, Char-Dad doesn't like tuxedos at all.
No, he hates tuxedos, but what if?
But
he
for
loves
his
dresses.
For his daughter?
Nothing but the best.
The finest. But Bella would have absolutely none of it.
Oh, no. No, she'd be in the back, like, in the break room, like, watching House Hunters or some shit. Like,
yeah, like, the fact that, like, she's, like, trying on all these really expensive dresses that she doesn't want to have to pay, or have anyone else pay for in the first place. Bad. And then, trying them all on in front of, like, people that are going to see her get married and all of her family and whatever. Also bad. And then also it being on national television and there being camera crews. Like, just that's her worst nightmare.
Everything about it would be terrible for her and great for us.
Yeah, and great for television, so.
Okay, so the next question that we have is from one of our patrons. So I can say their name. It's Rachel.
Bye-bye.
Our new Rachel. We have another Rachel. And the question
so many Rachels.
A staircase of Rachels. So they're curious how we met. And, like, they said, I know we've never, like, the two of us have never physically met, but they're curious how we met and decided on doing a podcast together.
Uh-huh. I have no idea. Okay. I mean, I think it's similar to, like, every other, like, internet friendship that I've had. It's just, like, we all just somehow just find each other, or, like, we have friends of friends and, like, just follow each other or whatever. I thought you were, like, the shit, and, like, this whole, like,
Ew,
I don't know, like, how everyone talks about Rowan, I was like, Allie's just, like, doing things, like, what? And then, yeah, exactly. And then I met you, and then
I'm so glad that every single one of your expectations has been crushed.
That's and that's what friendship is.
I have honestly no idea. I couldn't pinpoint.
I
just feel like
I couldn't even pinpoint a time frame. I have no idea when this started. It just happened.
Like, literally, I'm pretty sure that, like, Cody's just, like, always been there, is what I'm trying to say.
Wow.
Also, I need to sneeze. I'm not, like, emotional. And
I'm not crying or whatever. I don't care. Whatever.
I don't, like, fuck all of you.
Whatever.
And deciding on doing a podcast, I feel like it was a joke.
Yeah, it was.
And then we were like, oh.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I feel like we told it wrong before and said there was one Skype call, but we had two different Skype calls because I have screen caps from both occasions. They were two different things. The first one, which is one we figured it out, you were like, I want to, like, do some stuff for FemTube, and I want to, like, brainstorm stuff, and I need someone to help me. And I was like, you got it. I also need to brainstorm some stuff, which never ended up coming into fruition. But
that's right.
And so we did that, and then we were just, like, shooting the shit, and then for some reason, Allie brought up Twilight, and I was like, LOL, I've never read Twilight. And then Allie got mad at me for 45 minutes, and then over the course of time, we created Into the Twilight.
Yes.
And
I
here we
remember
are.
that now. Yes, the first Skype call was definitely me trying to, like, Skype with other people because I had a lot of brain crack at that moment. I was like, I need to
brain
bounce
crack.
ideas.
That was the exact phrase. Yep.
Yeah, I needed to, like, bounce ideas off of people. And so, of course, whenever that happens, I always end up, like, collaborating with people when I do that. So it works out great. Then the second one, we were definitely here. It was definitely when I was pet sitting.
Yeah, and I was in this very room.
Yeah. And we were like, okay, let's actually do this thing. Yeah. But yeah, we still haven't met, so I'm still a cryptid, which is great.
Honestly, we've kept this bit going for so long. What if we just never meet in real life? What if we just keep doing this? I think that'd be really funny. I think that'd be
like,
really
what
funny.
if it's all a dream?
No, oh my god, that's not what I meant.
Oh. I mean... That was weird. Shut up.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying that, like, in the imaginary future where we have, like, live shows, there will be, like, a fucking partition between us. Like, it's just extra, and I love it a lot.
Yeah, it's great.
Speaking of bad dreams, should we talk about Breaking Dawn, probably?
Yeah, boy. Been talking for a very long time, so we should get
We had a lot of shit to shoot, alright?
I'm sorry, okay?
I'm not sorry.
Never apologize.
So, the first chapter that we needed to read today was chapter 3, Big Day. And we have been working for so long to get here. I'm so happy. In typical Stephanie, her routine is keeping up because this chapter starts off with Bella waking up from bad dreams. So, like, great. Good stuff. And keeping up with, like, the sexism and weird power dynamics within her family, Bella wakes up and she's like, shit, I'm tired. I didn't sleep at all. Oh, shit, I have my wedding today. I'm really anxious. I might as well just go downstairs and make pancakes for Charlie.
Oh, my God. This bitch.
Because I'm not gonna eat, so, like, weird.
Yeah. I mean, Charlie has to eat, you know?
Yes.
Like, come on.
Yeah. My favorite thing about this, though, so she goes downstairs to make pancakes for him, right? Like, it says, quote, when Charlie was up, I made him pancakes. And then literally a page afterwards, she's having dialogue with Charlie talking about, like, the, quote, monkey suit and the fact that he has one job today and it's to get to the Cullens house to be there for the wedding. Yeah. And it says, quote, he scowled into his cereal bowl. So this man is double carbing for this wedding.
Mood. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
He's carbo loading for his beautiful daughter.
I just, like, he's eating for the both of them.
He's like, can I eat so much? Can I eat a lot right now so I won't fit into my tux in 3 hours and not have to wear it? Yeah. That's what he's doing right now.
Yes.
And it's great, and I love it.
Anyway, Alice gets there, and she's like, first of all, Charlie, you're great. Love you so much. And she looks over at Bella, and she sees how much she didn't sleep yesterday, and she's like, well, fuck. Like, Alice literally curses, and she says hell. So, I mean, it's a big deal. The one thing that we need to talk about, though, so Bella doesn't know where her and Edward are going for their honeymoon. Mm-hmm. So Alice subtly, accidentally drops a hint about the fact that even after the wedding, they'll still be on a plane tomorrow. And Bella's like, oh, okay, well, let me logic this out in my brain. I guess that means that we're not going to Boise, Idaho.
Oh, yeah, and I guess geographically, sure, that'd be too far, but why was that even in your brain, Bella?
Yeah, genius. This family, who's so rich and does things so over the top, is gonna send you to fucking the red state of Boise, Idaho to have your honeymoon. Congratulations.
Listen, Bella loves potatoes, probably, because who doesn't love potatoes? And also brown.
I mean, you're right.
So, like, you're
right.
But maybe also, she was like, I hope they take me to Boise.
I want to have my first fuck in Boise.
Oh, so, my God.
Listen, she says, like, or hopefully not sleeping. So.
I know. That was a very good line. But I hope that is a country song somewhere in the past, present, or future. No. I think that's a good, someone should get on that.
Oh my God. Okay. That's terrible and I hate it. Alice talks about the fact that this is all going to be like traditional, which is mentioned that like Alice is making sure that Edward and Bella don't see each other. Mm-hmm. And there's a garter, which we're going to talk about later. Hey. Anyway, so it's all traditional and stuff except for the fact that Edward is a soulless monster or whatever. So, anyway, they get to the house and apparently these amazing non-humans have filled the whole house with flowers. Like, top to bottom, toe to tip, all flowers. Everywhere.
It is a dream. It is like every Pinterest board realized.
There's flowers everywhere. There's twinkle lights. It's my wet dream. It's everything. She talks about the fact that the flowers, there's so much that, like, it's almost intoxicating, which, like...
Mood.
Mood. Like, literally me on a business card.
That's what I want to smell like. It's just, like...
Almost intoxicating.
Yeah, almost intoxicating.
But not intoxicated.
Hey.
So, Alice does her makeup. Rosalie does her hair. And
it's Rosalie so tender.
Comes in, yes, because when Rosalie comes in, Alice is, like, doing her thing and doesn't even notice, but Bella, like, freaks out. Mm-hmm. And she's like, she was so beautiful, it made me want to cry, which, like, mood.
Yeah, Bella's gay. Anyway.
I'm just saying.
Anyway.
So, yes. They get all of her hair done, all of her makeup done, and then they put her in the dress, which means, of course, that Renee and Charlie need to come up to her room and see her.
Yeah.
Great. Good things. We find out that Renee has been trying to spend all of her time with Bella that she can, but to be honest, has been spending most of it with Esme. Kind of like decorating.
Yes, moms. I love moms.
Yes, so that's great. And I love that a lot. So they get upstairs, and of course, Renee starts crying because Bella, quote, looks like she just stepped out of an Austen movie. So, thank you, Stephanie. It's the worst. And then we find out that one of the gifts that Renee and Charlie have, like, gone together on, which they haven't done since her 18th birthday, is the silver hair combs that she's gonna wear for her wedding, which I thought was really sweet and tender.
I love it.
Yes, it's very cute.
Love.
Especially because Alice is like, so there's your old, and there's your blue, and your dress is new, so... And then she flicks the garter at Bella.
Oh my...
A
hero, an icon, a star.
A true icon, especially because Alice is like, that's mine, and I want it back. Which, like, damn.
Damn, hello.
Wow, that's great. This is the first time, like, really, that there is a crowd of people around Bella when she has a conniption fit.
Yeah.
Because Rosalie starts playing music downstairs, and she's like, oh shit, like, I'm getting married.
Yeah.
Well, this is awkward. And everybody, like, Charlie looks at Alice, and he's like, is my daughter okay? So that's great. And it's just, like, a lot and really extra. I thought that it was really cute that when Charlie and Bella are, like, trying to walk to get ready to go downstairs, he's like, Bells, we're up to bat, which, like, meh. Anyway, Bella says to Charlie, Char-Dad, before she goes downstairs, don't let me fall, because can you imagine?
Please, God.
Oh, God.
On her one day, and just, like...
Yes.
That would be peak Bella Swan.
Well, and there's this part, too, where Stephanie says, of course, I could be counted on to be the blushing bride.
What?
Just, Stephanie.
Oops.
Stephanie, stop it.
Yeah, don't you know that that's the word we use for...
That's our thing.
Edward's virginity. Like, just stop. How dare you turn it against us.
Yes, exactly. So, I need to take a quick pause here. And I know that we're not supposed to talk about the music until the movie, but, like, here's the thing. Mm-hmm. The song that plays during this scene in the movie is Turning Page by Sleeping at Last, aka Ryan O'Neal.
Okay.
Sleeping at Last is one of my favorite bands/artists of all time ever. Mm-hmm. And so when this song came out, it's, like, super emotional and all this stuff, right? Yeah. And so I did, like, 2 clicks on the internet, aka research, and found out
a quick little Google.
Yes, I found out that Ryan wrote this huge blog post talking about Turning Page and how he came to, like, create it, and that it's created specifically for Twilight.
Uh-huh.
And we didn't talk about the fact that the font on his blog is literally the font that Stephanie uses, like, it's Twilight themed, which is gross, and I love it.
Oh my God. I'm disgusted.
Just saying. But during this kind of bit, he says, before I began writing Turning Page, I bought all 3 Twilight films on iTunes and watched them for the first time, back to back.
Wow. That sounds like hell. That sounds like something I would ask people to pay me to do.
If we weren't literally recording this on a Friday night, I would be doing that. So you watch your mouth.
Oh my God.
Anyway, so he says, quote, in essence, the entire Twilight saga is, at its heart, a love story. So I decided to write a love song. Listen, fuck off, because the song is actually really cute. You know how much the soundtracks are bops. Like, don't come for me. Anyway... He's talking about the fact that when he was creating Turning Page, he had, like, let a couple of scenes from Eclipse, like, play on mute while he was, like, working on the piano, and that he was, like, grabbing stuff from the books. Like, he bought the physical books to, like, look through as he was writing this. Anyway, it's super cute. I would definitely check out the blog post because it's adorable. And I adore this song, and I think that it's really cute. Bella gets down these stairs, right? Mm-hmm. And she's, like, shook. And then she finally gets to see, like, her whole wedding, right? And this is the first time, which is a lot. And there's flowers everywhere, and everyone that she loves is there, and there's twinkle lights, and then she finally is like, oh shit, I need to look at Edward. Which, like, mood.
I gotta, like, do the thing.
There's also one more thing that I need to tell you, Cody.
Yeah.
Now, if you scroll down to the part on our note section, I put in a photo here. So during, when Breaking Dawn Part 1 came out, that was November 18, 2011. I don't remember that for no any reason. So it was a mini release, and Target had an exclusive DVD set of it. When it came out, and there was a purple one that was a collector's edition, and inside of it there was a acrylic that has a photo of Bella and Edward when they get married, and there's also a tiny acrylic flower in there that's from the real set. I own that.
Oh. My God. I feel like I don't tell you enough how embarrassing it is to know you.
I can't tell you enough how often I get that.
Oh my God. That's from the set. You have a piece of history.
Yeah.
I hate you so much.
I'm very aware. Anyway, so Bella
that'll be on our Twitter if you want to drag Allie.
Anyway, so Bella gets downstairs and she looks at Edward and she's like, oh shit, I'm not scared anymore. I'm just gonna run after my husband. It's like, that's not how weddings work. Great. They do the really sexist thing where like Charlie takes her hand and puts it in Edward's hand and is like, take my daughter.
She's yours now.
Because tradition, right? So anyway, the wedding happens, right? And they like kiss forever after it.
So long.
To the point where Stephanie even mentions that there's like throat clearing in the audience. Yikes. So
like, guys, just stop. You have like your literally
literally
forever to do that. These people have lives to live, okay? Their clocks are ticking. Y'all are gonna be fine.
Literally looking at her watch like, I gotta go. Like,
I have so many things I could be doing exclusively fucking women.
Oh my God. Yes. So anyway, they get married, and then they start the traditional, like, passing around and hugging everybody and stuff. And the last line of this chapter is the fact that she gets a, quote, scorching hug from Seth, who braved all these vampires to be there.
Baby.
Yes. So...
My son.
My actual son. So yes.
My child.
So yes, chapter 4, Gesture, is still a wedding, obviously. Yep. Can you imagine, like, fucking Star Wipe? And
yeah. 30 years later.
Yes.
We're in Boise. It's great.
And Bella is getting it.
Yeah.
Yes. Stephanie. She mentions that when the reception party happens, it is, quote, just twilight over the river. This motherfucker. I'm just saying.
Like, I know that we like to joke about how nobody edited these books or whatever, but like she had editors, and like not one was like, hey, listen.
That's like a little on the nose, right?
Like, that's like a little bit too much. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, nobody stopped her.
Somebody was probably like, put a fucking smiley face next to it when they were annotating this copy. Anyway, so Seth is there and he's like, congrats, I love you all. Like, let me be part of your family. And it's all perfect and great. Yes, exactly. I love it too, especially because Seth and Edward hug, which, like, I'm just saying, it's perfect. And then we find out that they move on to all these people, because all these families are here, and their cousins, the Denali vampires are there. And everything about this part is, like, awkward, right? Because Bella's, like, literally at her wedding, looking gorgeous, and still is, like, looking at this other vampire that supposedly had a crush on Edward, like, 2 years ago, and she's like, ugh, I definitely don't stand a chance. It's like, bitch, you're married. Like, I don't understand.
Guys, come on.
Anyway, so Edward gets to say, my wife, out loud for the first time, and he's, like, freaking out, and I just definitely need to say that because it's adorable. There are some other traditions that they do. They take photos, traditional, and they take turns shoving cake into each other's faces, which seems odd and out of character for both of them, but I love it anyway. Now, there is a part that we need to talk about here. And it's the other, so they throw the bouquet, Bella does that, it goes into Angela's hands, great, perfect. And then they get to the garter portion. But Edward does it, right, and, like, whatever, taste your bliss. Yep. We need to talk about the fact that he threw it at Mike Newton's face.
It's amazing. It's cinematic. I hope it's in the movie, because it would be a cinematic masterpiece.
It's a lot. We get to the first dances, of course, and Edward and Bella are, like, perfect and great and whatever. But then we get to Charlie and Bella dancing for the first time, and it just sounds like a fucking train wreck, whereas Edward and Esme are, like, spinning around and having a grand old time. It's perfect. Except for that it starts to get emotional really quick, because Charlie, like, the first thing that he says to his daughter is, I'm gonna miss you at home, Bella. I'm already lonely. Which,
like mood, but also...
Boy,
if you don't...
Yeah, it's a lot. and really awkward. And just makes me sad, too, because it's like, you're already lonely. Yeah, so that's a lot. We get to this great, thank you so much, Stephanie, for including this in the novel. We get to this part where Bella gets to look at herself in the mirror for the first time, aka just the reflection of the house. And she's like, oh, look at this amazing person that's standing next to me. He's so beautiful. I love my husband. And who's that woman next to him?
That, like, plain Jane? Who?
Exactly.
It's like, I thought we were over Bella comparing herself to, like, literally everyone and not feeling good enough. But no, we'll never be over it. No.
Yeah, exactly. So they're still dancing. And then all of a sudden, Edward gets shook, right? And he's, like, smiling, all, like, a full face smile. And Bella's like, sir? Sorry, what?
Excuse me?
And he says that it's a surprise wedding gift for Bella. And this is when I start to get really emotional. Because they go out to the edge of the forest, and, like, nobody fucking notices, apparently.
Yeah, nobody cares that the bride is missing.
Yeah, Jacob is there. And he's like, Edward's like, oh, this is super kind of you. And Jacob's like, kind is my middle name. And it's just like, he's there, and it's so great.
Baby.
And it's cute for, like, approximately 2 seconds before it gets gross.
And then it's bad.
Yeah, and then I remember, Stephanie is writing Jacob, my son, like, my love. Everything that is perfect. And I'm like, oh, yeah, great. So Bella starts crying, right? Because, like, same. They start, like, chatting, and Jacob's like, oh, yeah, well, I'm, like, a full wolf now, and I don't give a shit. Like, I came back for the first time today and cut my own hair, and, like, humans, right?
Am I
he's
right?
He's, like, tapping the microphone, and, like, there's nothing.
I just like to thank everyone for being here. Edward, I hate you, actually, but, like, and you're fucking the love of my life, but, like, hey, I hope you're all having a good time.
Yes, exactly. Because, yeah, it does start to get bad. They dance for, like, 2 songs or so, and he all of a sudden is like, hey, this has all been great, but I need to say goodbye to you now, forever. And, of course, Bella starts crying more because this is Bella. Then Jacob, he starts talking about the after this, right?
Yeah.
And he is like, so... And he doesn't really ask it, but he's like, when is this going to happen? And Bella's like, well, it's not tonight, obviously. Like, I want to enjoy my honeymoon. I need to get that good dick.
Yeah.
And Jacob's like, what?
Sorry?
What? And he starts to get pissed, and then Bella starts to get pissed, understandably so. She's like, I can't have a real honeymoon. Like, I can do what I want, butt out. And it's like, yes, Bella, chase your bliss. Like, this is great. But Jacob starts to get, like, pissed. He starts to, like, Hulk out. Anyway, Edward, of course, shows up, and Seth also shows up, because the main reason that he's there is, like, to make sure that Jacob doesn't freak out, right?
Yeah.
And so it all gets, like, dangerous for about 2 seconds, and then he just leaves, and Bella's upset, and Seth is upset. Like, everybody's upset about this, right?
Yeah.
Except for Edward. Edward doesn't give a shit. He's like, Jacob overstepped his bounds on my way. Like, he's pissed. But yes, so that's great. The one thing that I enjoyed about this, though, and this is such a, like, we have such a low bar for Stephanie, but after all this happens, before they go back to the party, Bella's like, give me 2 seconds. And just knowing that she's, like, being able to, like, vocalize, like, I still need a human minute while I still have them. It's like, yes, thank you. Yes. Good job. So, yes. Now, when I say that Edward was, like, fine about this, what I really mean is Edward is spiraling.
Yep. Yeah. More accurate description.
The main reason why Jacob was pissed about this honeymoon, right, is because, hi, vampire and human, like, how do you sex? And he's literally asking her that, like, how do you sex? And Bella's like, listen, you don't understand. This is happening.
This.
Yes. And now Edward, being the actual blushing bride that he is, Stephanie, is like, oh God, Jacob's right. What am I thinking? And he's, like, literally having a crisis.
Oh God, baby, it's gonna be okay.
To the point where it's Bella even is mentioned, like, putting, like, grabbing his face in her hands and being like, stop it. This is happening.
Listen to me.
We are going to make this work.
You love me. We're gonna be fine. Your dick's not gonna explode. It's gonna be okay.
Now, listen. So, anyway, we get to the end of this party. And, I'm an adult. I don't get blood sex. That's weird. They get to the end of this party, and Bella, after a lot of fighting with Edward and Alice, which I thought was adorable, Bella's finally able to change into her going away wardrobe, which, like, mood. That's a mood and a half. Alice kind of forces Bella to, like, thank her in this, like, extravagant way for everything that she's done, even though Alice, like, pushed planning the wedding on Bella, which I thought was interesting.
Yeah, you know.
I mean,
it's fine. Whatever, it's fine.
And then we get to the goodbyes. So this section where they're supposed to be, like, leaving for their honeymoon, everything's, like, great, is really the goodbye that's supposed to be happening with Renee, right?
Yeah.
And so that's, like, sad or whatever. Like, Renee's is sort of, like, fine, right? Because she's Renee and she's all hyped up on, like, wedding love and energy and stuff. And then Bella looks over and sees that Charlie is, like, leaning against the wall, hiding away from everyone else, and he's crying. And I just...
Baby...
I
love him.
Me too.
Baby.
So of course Bella starts crying because Charlie's crying, right? And so they're both, like, awkwardly hugging each other and, like, quietly sobbing. And he's like, you know, they do the, like, I love you thing and stuff. And she leaves. But not before they throw fucking rice. And listen, I understand that this is a tradition. But, like, do you understand anything about birds? That's all I have to say. Like,
yeah, it's fair.
Birds low-key, like, freak me out. Like, I don't trust them. I let them, like, live wherever they need to. But, like, I'm not gonna intentionally kill them with rice. I need to fuck off. Listen, I watched birds at a really young age. And all I have to say is, like, I love my eyes, my blind eyes. Like, I'm keeping them forever.
I'm waiting for the day when we get animations, because I just want someone animating your, like, mania-induced, like, monologue about, like, birds and how you don't trust them.
I don't trust them. Oh my God. They're out to, like...
What do you mean? They have no motives. I don't think they understand anything. Do
you know what chemtrails... Like, I'm just saying.
Oh my God. Allie. Listen, I've lived with a lot of pigeons in my life. They are all... They don't know anything. They're, like, even if you're in the 20-foot radius of them and you step, like, one step closer to them, they're like, what the fuck? And they all just, like, spatter with, like, 90 of their friends and just, like, cause a fucking ruckus.
Well, where I live, in my neck of the woods, there's crows. And they don't fuck around. Yeah, so, like...
Okay. They're doing their best, okay?
All I'm saying, aliens, birds, chemtrails. They're all connected.
Oh.
I have a lot of feelings.
Oh my God.
So, anyway...
Can we please wrap this up?
Yes, so... They get in the car, right? And she, like, Bella looks back and she's like, oh, that's so cute. Renee is holding Phil and she's, like, holding Charlie's hand, and, like, love, it can happen in different ways. I'm suddenly having this, like, realization as I'm married. Weird. So anyway, they get in the car and they leave, and the last line of this chapter is we hear Jacob's howl as they drive away. It's apparently a piercing, heartbroken howl. So great.
Great.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. Cody, I know that you don't like reading these books in particular.
Right. I like reading. I don't like reading this.
But next week, we are reading Chapter 5, ILS Mate, and Chapter 6, Distractions. And Cody, all I'm saying is that next week, we're going to be talking about sex on this podcast. For the first time.
Yeah, never before. Uncharted territory.
Into the Twilight exclusive. Yes, the sex episode.
Into the Twilight Nights.
Oh my God. Shut up. So yes.
Wow, yeah. Finally, like, my education background and my literature background is all coming to fruition.
Like, literally, as a sex educator, this is, like, all I've been looking forward to. Yeah. So, yes. Cody, could you do the honor and tell me about the new iTunes review that we have?
Our newest iTunes review is from Jules Pigot. Pigot?
Pigeon?
Yeah, that's it.
The animals that are following me around.
But she's super cool, and she has like a ton of podcasts, mostly about web series, and she's great. But she left us a 5-star iTunes review, and if you want to be shout out on the pod, you can also leave us a review on iTunes, which is super easy if you have iOS 11 and have the podcasts app. Otherwise, you can do it on your computer.
Also, people that we can shout out are our patrons.
Boy, boy.
And this week, we have a new person to add to the family.
Boy, 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 boy.
If this was episode 10, you know I'd be hitting the ham horn real hard, but like I'm gonna try not to.
I was gonna say you're a changed woman, but as of last week, you are definitely not.
Hey, listen. I'll never change. So we have a new patron, our $25 patron, Rachel. We have 2 Rachels now, so let's not get it twisted. This Rachel, I think, since we're losing a swan, technically, with this marriage, why don't we just say Rachel Swan?
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And then our $10 patrons are Jessica Stanley and Rachel Black.
Bye-bye.
So, lovely crew. I hope that you all have imaginary tea together.
If you want to help support the show and get shouted out, you can go to patreon.com/intothetwilight.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, boy.
Yes. Okay, so the fan fiction that I have for you today, Cody.
Oh boy. Yeah.
I actually stumbled upon one that's not terrible.
Wow.
So weird. But I figured since we're starting this new chapter of these people being married, we should go back to when they almost left. So this one is called A Little More Heart, and it was written by Nick Aruz. Mm-hmm. And it was published literally on, like, today of last... Wait, there's a better way to say this. A year ago today. Yes. Listen, I'm an English teacher. Shut up. Yes, so it was published a year ago today.
Yeah.
So, great. Summary, basically, is that it's when Edward is leaving, and it's from Esme's perspective.
Great.
Also, this person is not Stephanie Meyer and doesn't own the character, so
wow.
Just so you know. So
what if it was, though?
I mean, it wouldn't be this good, that's all I'm saying.
Damn.
So this is from chapter 1, Strain Between Us. I was never so in opposition to my husband as the day that our first son had come home and said that we needed to leave my newest daughter, Bella, behind. It was for the best, Edward had claimed. She was human and we were not, he had argued. Her life would be better off, less dangerous without us in it, he had insisted. He had implied that us leaving her was what she'd wanted. After all the votes were in, Carlisle had made the final decision for us to leave Forks. I might not have agreed, but that didn't stop me from doing my part and packing our belongings. Carlisle planned on staying for the next few days, so I left his personal things for him to take care of. It would give him something to do when he was not at the hospital. Each couple were in their rooms packing, and I had no idea where Edward had gone off to when Carlisle came to find me. Esme, he asked hesitantly as he came into our bedroom. It was all in his voice, his love, concern, confusion, doubt. And I'm just going to skip forward a little bit because this last part is really cute. So Carlisle says, she's not ours, Esme. She is human and she is Charlie's. His voice was softer than the gentlest breeze, the cadence of old only marginally there, and the doctor tones of present more prominent. Wow, that's a really long sentence. Okay. A part of me wanted to snarl and growl and argue and fight, but this was not my way. I was not headstrong or tenacious like Rosalie. I wasn't coy and single-minded like Alice. I was strong in my own way, but fighting was not how I did things. Yet I did not agree with Carlisle. She was mine as much as she was Charlie's. There was a bond there beyond her connection with Edward or the fact that she was still human. I saw so much of my 16-year-old self in her, and even though Bella wasn't me, I believed that I saw the most clearly out of all of us. And scene.
Damn.
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah. It's not pencil dick, you know?
Oh my god, as we say in Forks.
Get sexed and bit, y'all. Oh, hi there. Guess who stole Cody's mic and took over the end credits? This is an Earbud Media production. You can pitch a show at bit.ly/earbudpitch. You can check out the network's Twitter at Earbud Media. And while you're doing that, why don't you follow us everywhere at Into the Twilight? Since you're doing that, why don't you just go ahead and check out our Patreon? It's patreon.com/intothetwilight. Just as little as $1 a month, you can get some cool things like pins and books, help us do cool things like live streams. You can always help us out for free with rating and reviewing us on Apple Podcast. Our amazing artwork was done by Maddie Padilla, who you can find at YourGhostHost44. Our fantastic music was done by Eli Krause, who you can find at KrauseFilms.com. The intro and outro of our podcast is done by KB Smith, who you can find at KB_Smith. You can find Cody everywhere online at Cody Captures, and you can find me now everywhere at Into Wild Places. You stayed until the end. Check you out. Good job, and we will check back with you next week. Bye.
You've been listening to Earbud Media Production. Earbud Media. Audio for everyone.
Hey, Dan.
Hey, what's up, John?
I just wanted to confirm that we were recording Monday.
Yes.
What are we recording for?
Oh, it's our new podcast.
Our podcast, the Strange Little People one.
Strange
right?
Little People, yeah.
Yeah, the one on Earbud Media Productions.
Mm-hmm. You can find it on YouTube. You can listen to it.
The one that we update every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday, dude.
When we have new guests all the time.
Sometimes.
Most
of the time.
Yeah, and we talk about current events and stuff.
People should listen to it, right?
Yeah.
It's something cool.
I think people would like it. I mean, you don't have to, but I hope you would.
Did you put out the ad yet? The flyers?
Yeah, I'm doing it right now, as we speak.
No, you're sitting down.
No, this is happening right now, as we speak.
John, why did my hand just go through you?
Oh my god.
John.
We'll talk about it next week.